Welcome to our demonstration of VMware vRealize Operations Manager Fault Analysis Badge. vRealize Operations Manager allows outside systems like vCenter or other management tools to send in external events which only they can detect to trigger faults. A fault can be mapped to one or more events for opening or causing a fault, and, when the issue is resolved, clearing a fault. These faults can then be used to drive the score and color of the fault badge. We begin at the top of the view, where we can see the hourglass-shaped fault badge. Here, the score is 100, indicating the state is critical. The fault badge score and its color are always driven by the most severe fault on an object. This is not a cumulative or additive calculation. The score here of 100 implies there is at least one critical fault that needs immediate attention. It is good to note that the score is not as important as the fault itself. The score of 100 is only an internal mechanism to drive the state and color. Speaking of the fault badge color, to the right we see the fault policy settings, which is used to drive the colors. Here we have 25 for yellow, 50 for orange, and 75 and up for red. The fault threshold set by default can be used for all objects in a typical environment. We don't recommend changing the fault thresholds in your policy settings, but you may wish to turn off a color or criticality for certain objects. For example, you may not be interested in minor yellow faults on your test environment hosts, so you can go into the policy that governs these hosts and disable the yellow threshold. Next, on the top, we see the faults trend over the last 6 weeks. This environment has been faultless for the last few weeks, and has suddenly started exhibiting faults. Similar to other badges, right below the badge status is the Help option. Clicking on this will help you understand what a fault is and how it is calculated by vRealize Operations Manager. Below is the Fault Breakdown section, which shows us the details of the fault. This section is divided into two parts: fault information and event source details. On the left, we see the fault information, which gives us details like the fault criticality, the resource kind, which here is a host system, the name of the resource, as well as the name of the event in vRealize Operations Manager, which here is host connection lost. On the right side, we see the raw event details that were used to generate this fault, including the event source system, which sent in the event, as well as the object name, event name, and status used by that external system. One difference between faults and other badges under the Analysis tab is there could be instances where no closing events are detected. For example, if we replace our LUNs in the environment, vSphere would only notice that the old LUNs are missing, and would never send us an event to clear the fault. In such cases, we can easily clear a fault that no longer needs attention by simply clicking on the Cancel Fault icon. Scrolling down to the bottom, we have the Related Objects section. We see information on any fault on the parent, peers, and children objects. This is a useful feature, and it will help us look at faults that are systemic and affect other objects in the environment. In this environment, we see that all the other objects are normal, and we can conclude that the fault is not due to a larger environmental failure. Finally, back at the top, we see the key properties of the selected object. This concludes the demonstration of vRealize Operations Manager Fault Analysis Badge. For more information, visit pubs.vmware.com. Thank you.